Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 3, Episode 32, DJI Mavic 3 Knot, Fimi X8 SE 2020, Parrot Anafi Updates. How is everyone doing tonight? I'd like to think I'm doing pretty well. We're going to start off. We got a full slate scheduled for tonight. Got a lot going on here. Want to welcome everybody. Let's see who we got here. Jay Bird's in the house. Sam Burns is here. Tampa Drone Life. Dale Wilson. Dale, it's good to see you. Sam. Steve Fox is here. Albuquerque Quadcopter, which is Tony. Welcome. Good to see you. Hot Rod in Daytona. Welcome. Johnny Drone Flyer. Welcome. Oracle Miata. Catch that Penguins game? No, I did not today. It was still on while I was working. I didn't get a chance to see it today. Hubson Choice is here. Sam, Georgia Driller. Oh, that's good. Good thing to hear, Johnny. Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. And, one of the things I wanted to start off with, we're going to do, we're going to kind of start off each show with like news and updates, because I think it's important. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys, it's just, it's like, why should 2020 surprise any of us? Okay, there's no more surprises left here for 2020. Okay, I'm at a loss right now. What else kind of a surprise could we get? So, what do we have? We have a tropical cyclone. It hasn't been named yet. It's not really formed very well yet. But you know what? The National Hurricane Center put this out. So, and you know what I've learned since my time down here in Florida, and all you who are in the wonderful Sunshine State, you know that anytime these come out, you need to pay attention to what's going on here. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to order just for grins and giggles. I'm going to order another water when we do our grocery shopping this week, another case of water. We got we've had plenty of staples on hand since the pandemic hit, so that's a good thing. May want to shore up getting some batteries as well too. And one of the good things is, and one of the reasons I became a ham radio operator was because of this, because of communications in the event of a hurricane, and that normal communications are down, I would still have a means to be able to communicate. So that's why I am in the hobby. I don't have the big rigs. I wish I could afford one of the big rigs. Plus, also, I live in a development, and they kind of frown upon some of those antennas, so that's problematic. So, but having a hand talk here, an HT as they're called, is a lot better. So that's the first piece of news here, which we're not really welcoming these pieces of news here, because last time we were really truly affected was 2017. Right before my daughter's wedding. It was just not a good time, okay? Just really wasn't a good time. Now, the other piece of news is this, and it's actually, this is drone news. I wanted to go ahead and share this part with you. Now, let's go ahead and let me get that up here. All right. Okay. Now, DJI had an announcement the other day. DJI releases a new mobile SDK and UX SDK for iOS and Android. Okay, Bill, stop. What's SDK? That's Software Development Kit, all right? Now, just to give you a little background on what an SDK is, if you guys know anything, that will enable programmers who know how to code, that opens the code up to them. This is basically what this is. And the drones that it's available for, it lists on here, okay? Now, this is both for iOS and Android. The mobile SDK supports the DJI Mavic Mini, adds new features for the DJI Matrice 300 RTK. Let's go ahead, and I'm gonna move this down here. Support products, Mavic Mini, Matrice 300 RTK, Matrice 200 V2, 210 V2, 210 RTK V2, Phantom 4 RTK, Mavic 2 Enterprise, Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual, Mavic 2 Pro, and Mavic 2 Zoom. So the three consumer drones are the Mavic Mini, the Mavic 2 Pro, and the Mavic 2 Zoom. Highlight support for Mavic Mini, which is new. That's something that's new. new features added for the Matrice, diagnostics message for 3-propeller landing, consistency upgrade, get aircraft altitude, get a little ellipsoid height, more information here. And then the UX SDK, supported products, it looks to be about the same, and it adds the Matrice 200 Inspire 2 Mavic Mini bug fixes, okay? And, this article was on Drone XL from Hey Kesselou, so I'll drop a link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check that information out. I think it's news from DJI, which is good, because that allows you some changes besides what you see on the regular apps that are out there on the DJI Go 4 app and on the DJI Fly app. So this is something that's good. This is what I would call good news here. So just wanted to go ahead and pass that on. Steve Mack is in the house. Welcome. Ray Kelly's here. Mike is here. DeMarco is here. Good to see you. RC Master is here. Marcus is in the house. Hey, Marcus. Thank you for showing up tonight. Yeah, this whole hurricane thing already, it's not even August here, guys, and we're getting news about storms out in the Atlantic. It's just crazy news. It's just absolutely crazy news. Well, had some other news the other day about the Parrot Anafi. Now, we recently heard about, the Anafi USA, and it being a drone that the military will probably be interested in. First responders will probably be interested in. I made the comments that, this technology would be good, would probably lead to like an Anafi too. Well, all right. Hey, Kesselou has had an article, and let's go ahead and I'll get that up here. And, it's like they interviewed, he's the CEO of Parrot, and let's go ahead. I'm going to bring this article up here. All right, CEO Henry Sadoy, I'm sorry if I botched his name, declares end of Parrot's consumer drones and offers to show audited software. Okay, now apparently the article is translated out of French, and hey, apologizes, but he tries to do the best that he can. What he's saying here, they first talk about the first step forward. Parrot will definitely stop producing drones for general public. Has that page been turned? And he said, yes, it's over. We only make drones for professionals. The decision is linked to the evolution of the consumer market, of which we were the pioneers, but that has been greatly diminished in size and commercial interest. A drone that has the same technological level as an iPhone is more than just a Christmas present. It can be very useful in many professions, such as mapping, agriculture, rescue services. Okay, and then he talks in about some of the other things, and I'll definitely post this article, a link in the description. My take on this, okay, and this is, and I'd like to see some of your feedback here in the chat, guys. Is, I don't think this is the end. I really, I don't think this is the end here, guys. I could be wrong, but I don't see this as the end for Parrot, because they've had incredible success with the Anafi 2. I mean, it hasn't sold, like DJI drones has, but they've been very solid. And I know I've flown the Anafi. Marcus and Ron have an Anafi. I know Billy Kyle has one. Rick Smith has one. It's a great drone. It does a lot of great things. Stephen Ewing has one. Stephen's not with us tonight. He apologized. He wasn't able to make tonight's broadcast. Just because Parrot's not calling drones consumer, they will still sell their consumer line to consumers. Yeah, Albert. Yeah, Tony. I agree. I agree 100%. I don't think this is the end of this, because, as I said when we talked about the Parrot Anafi USA, the drone that Parrot's going to make for the military, for first responders, they're not going to waste this technology. Smart companies don't waste this technology. And there's still a market to be had out there. All right. And, you know, with remote ID coming up and all those changes, which, you know, we're going to talk about that next week. I've got some things I want to say about that. Yeah, my feed is blurry. Scott, I apologize. I'm having some issues with my webcam. It doesn't show as blurry to me, but you know, again, I apologize for that. I shut off autofocus on this, and for some reason, it's not working. I'm going to probably have to look into getting a new webcam. So my apologies for that. You know, with Parrot, this isn't the end of the line here. All right, it's like a pro soundboard. Is it just for professionals? I have a Logitech C922 camera, Tony. I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not, but that's what I'm having issues with, and I don't know why it's doing this. I shut off autofocus on it, and it's just acting up. So I think I'm definitely in need of getting a new webcam. Good news is I get paid this week, so that can happen. So. Yeah, so like, yeah, is it just for, you know, no, the C922, I got this on Amazon. It's been rated highly, and this is the first time in 2+ years that I've had a real issue with it. So, you know, it is problematic, and I'm going to get it solved before next week. So again, apologize for that. Oh, pro is a lot of companies that, yeah. Okay, Tony, I see what you're saying with that. Okay. Understood. Okay. Put your hand in front. Okay. See if that did anything, Lauren. I don't know. Helps a little bit, but not much. I don't know what's going on. I have absolutely no idea what's going on with this. I went in there and adjusted the settings and everything. So, so you know, I don't know at this point what they're going to do. Uninstall the driver and reboot the computer. Okay, Brian, I'll do that after we're done tonight. Thank you for that tip. I didn't think of that. I was trying to see if I could get it to go, and it looks okay to me on my screen, but the output doesn't look good at all. So, but you don't want to look at me. You want to hear the content. So that's why we're here. No, I know. I'll get it taken care of, guys. I apologize for that. Okay. You know, with the Anafi, you know, I know Brian has it from True Drone Reviews. Brian, welcome. Thanks for showing up tonight. Yeah, I think the driver has been compromised, so I'm going to go ahead and get that taken care of. Yeah, that is, you know, I don't think you've heard the last of Parrot. I think we'll see more of them. So stay tuned for this. I don't think this is end of story for them. I think we'll hear more from them later. I really do. Leonard, no. All the streams are in 720. That's YouTube. That's not me. So we'll like I said, we'll get this checked out here. So, but you know, that's where things are at with Parrot. I wouldn't count them out here at this point. You know, this was an impromptu interview. This wasn't the way it was scheduled and everything. So, you know, who really knows what's going on? I mean, this is what he said, but again, you know, this is an English translation. So, you know, let's see how this plays out. I'm not counting them out, but I tell you what, you know, from hearing Ron, from hearing Marcus, and all the positive things, and even Brian, and the positive things people have said about it, you know, I'm tempted to get one myself when I have some extra money laying around, whenever that is. So we'll find out. So yeah, it's just one of those things. You know, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of switch gears here. And I do want to go ahead, you know, DJI Mavic 3 not. And I wanted to spend a few minutes on this and talk about this here. Now, the article came out from Drone DJ, and you know now, and I want to make sure you're all aware, you know, Hate is not with Drone DJ anymore, okay? Hey is with Drone XL, okay? And let's go ahead now. When I looked at this, and I did take a good look at things here, okay? I did take a good look at this. And my initial reaction and my thoughts are, wait a minute, I know what that drone is, okay? So let's take a look at this here, all right? If you look at this, if you really look at this carefully, and I'm going to go down to the bottom because it actually has a better drawing of this, all right? You know what this is? This is a Mavic 2 Pro, all right? And Drone DJ jumped the gun. They went out and they said, no, this is Mavic 3. This is what we're seeing here. Guys, this is Mavic 2. This is a open and shut case here. This isn't even close. This isn't even close. I'm just... This is just too funny to me, guys. This is just absolutely, positively too funny. I mean, you know, and this is what it is. It was a patent filing, but it's an old patent filing. And like I've always said, and you guys probably know, I don't have to, you know, I don't have to beat around the bush with this one, is the fact that where do we look at? We look at the FCC grant ID database. That's where we get all our information from regarding new DJI drones. That's where, you know, we'll get 99.9% of the leaks will come out of there when it's filed. So no, there's no Mavic 3 here. You know, much to the chagrin, I'm sure, of a lot of people, but no, there's nothing going on here. I mean, it's just not there right now. It's not happening. I just, you know, you need when you go on and you see these things here, you need to exhale for a second, and you need to understand that a lot of times what you're seeing, okay, it may not be what you want to see, okay? You know, a lot of times we make it out to be something that we want, something that we think. So this is where we're at. I'm looking at the feed right now, and the feed looks better like this. So I'm going to leave the share screen up while we're here, okay? And we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to cover the next topic here. Now, you know, I do have some news to talk about with Fimi tonight, the Fimi X8 SE 2020. Let's go ahead. The first piece of news that I want to share is this, and I wish Fimi would do it. There is new camera firmware out there. It's it came out today. It's V2024C. The three things that it does: optimize white image balance, adds GPS information to photos, fix some known bugs. I love that. And God, how many times I've seen that. I got used to this when I had in my brief tenure with the Xenos. Fix some known bugs. You got to love that. Absolutely, positively got to love that kind of stuff. So that's one piece of news. So be aware of that. And I'm going to go ahead. The other piece of news here is that, guess what? They're now available on Amazon. It's $499. It's not the $400 that I paid for mine, but it's shown as available on Amazon, guys. That's pretty good. I mean, you know, you have that in one thing with Amazon. You know, you got and this is something I like here, and I think something that's important is, you have that added protection of it being with Amazon. Okay, that you have their return policy and what goes with that. So that's a good thing. And it's the same thing like with B&H Photo, and I think the price is about the same with B&H Photo. Although I know they weren't in stock. This doesn't say anything about it not being in stock. It's just apparently this is brand new because I've been looking out on Amazon. So this is something that is new. This is something that I haven't seen before. So I just want to make you guys aware of this, to something to be aware of. Now the other thing is this. There's a gentleman out on the Facebook page, and I wanted to make you guys aware of this. Now, I talked about rolling back software on the Fimi X8 SE 2020, and it's not an easy process by any stretch of the imagination. It's something that takes a lot to do. Okay, it's something that's an involved process. Well, if you go onto the Facebook page, Adam Allen, who's out here, and apparently a gentleman put down Fimi X8 SE 2020 drone firmware updates and downloads. And let's go ahead and click on that. Okay, that website's offline. So, but just be aware, there's a gentleman here who does have all of these updates, and you can message him, and he can probably drop you a link to be able to do that. Now, why do you want to do something like that, Bill? Well, a lot of times when you go out there and you're doing these firmware updates and you go, oh, oops, how many times we've done stuff like that. And, my advice to the guys that are new in the hobby is wait a week before you do these updates. See what other user experiences are. And that's why I strongly encourage people to get in a group like this one. And there's a lot of members here, and they're very good. The sharing in this group is fantastic. And I highly encourage you to join it because there is a lot of great information that is shared here. And one of the things that has really amazed me about this drone, and I think you guys would probably concur, is that I have seen such great international cooperation, and I'm talking international. I'm talking from all over, from England, other parts of the UK, Europe, Germany, Poland. I've getting emails from a gentleman in Poland, someone in Greece, okay, New Zealand, Australia. Okay, gotten some from Asia as well too. This is a drone that has a lot of appeal to a lot of people, and I think this is really cool. I mean, it's one thing that I really like about this is that people are, this is a drone that appeals to a lot of people. I think that's fantastic. I really do. And again, I apologize for this feed tonight. It's just. I don't know what to say. Let's go ahead. Let's put me up there like that for a minute because I'm having a hard time even looking at it myself. And I'm going to go ahead and share some more. I got some more things to share with you guys. So hang on here. Let me get that up. I'm just going to go ahead and put that back up here. So this is a good thing. I think this is having this opportunity to do this. Now, the other thing that I wanted to share about the Fimi X8 SE 2020 tonight is that a number of people are getting their drones. I know. I watched. Hope you guys saw Drone Nation last night. Had DeMarco was on last night, and DeMarco's not in the doghouse. Congratulations, DeMarco. We need to get DeMarco out of the doghouse fund because he has to be real quiet about his purchases. We love you, DeMarco. I hope you know that. I'm just pulling your leg here, but it had a good time on there last night, and it was Marcus shared that he finally got a tracking information on his Fimi X8 SE 2020. You know, Sam tonight, Sam's gotten his, Sam Burns. That's good. I think Michael Wright as well. I mean, this is just some great news. I mean, people are starting to get these, and they're coming through, and I think it's a great thing. You know, a lot of people have really ridden Banggood pretty hard about that, and deservedly so. You know, their inventory system is not the best, and GearBest as well too. Okay, you know, there's a lot of things that leave a lot to be desired here, but you got to remember, you know, the incredible price that a lot of these people got these for, and you know, and I postured myself right. I did the right thing. I hadn't been doing the right thing. Okay, with the Xeno 2, I screwed up all over the place. All right, I ended up getting it. I ordered it directly from Hubson, got it from them, which was fantastic. And what I did with Banggood, you guys probably know my story. I went ahead, I ended up canceling. I ordered again from Banggood, but from Banggood China, the Chinese warehouse. And within almost 14 days, 2 weeks, I had my drone. I mean, it was pretty amazing. All right, they had them in stock. It shipped it right away. I really didn't have any delays getting it. So, you know, it's what can I say? You know, and here's the thing. You know, it's hard to exercise patience sometimes, especially when you're getting such a good deal and this is something you want. Now, most of the guys, most of you, I know most of you already have drones yourselves, okay? And I get sometimes, you know, we all get to the point that, you know, it's like, oh man, you know, thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Oh, Ted, Ted, didn't know you were feeling under the weather, so hope you're feeling better. Yeah, DeMarco is the man. That is right, Marcus. He sure is. Absolutely loved the show last night. That was a great show. And if you guys haven't watched, it's no longer Xeno Nation, it's Drone Nation. It's on Monday nights at 9 o'clock. Okay, and it's all one word, Drone Nation. Okay, and, you know, Ron and Marcus hit that middle segment of drones, and they covered exceptionally well. They have great guests on there. You know, DeMarco was on last night. They recently had on Al Duran, and Al does a great job as well too. He's now, I guess, also repairing drones, so you may want to check out his channel, and I think he has a website with that. So you may want to go ahead and check that out as well. I think that's absolutely fantastic news. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about tonight is, you know, yeah, the 100-pound elephant in the room. Okay, so what's the 100-pound elephant in the room? The Mavic Air 2. All right, and why am I talking about that? Okay, why is the Mavic Air 2 the 100-pound elephant in the room here, Bill? Well, it's real simple, guys. Okay, it's absolutely really simple here. You know, it's the smart controller. All right, Mavic Air 2 and the smart controller. We all want to see the smart controller work with the Mavic Air 2. We all want that update. So when's it going to happen? When are we going to see this? When's it going to happen? You know, that's one of the questions I've been getting an awful lot of lately, and I mean a lot of lately. I'm sorry, I'm switching back to this feed because it's easier for me. I'm sorry, and I apologize that it's blurry. We'll get this addressed. I do promise that. So when's it coming? All right. You know, and I know Lauren's in the chat. I will, Lon. Thank you for that tip. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I'm just looking through the chat right now. So appreciate that. Oh, okay, Jim. That's good. I'm glad to see that. That's just I know that's driving you nuts, and it's kind of driving me nuts as well too. Lawrence talked about some things regarding when are we going to see it, because that's the number one question I've been getting by email, by chat, everything. When are we going to see the update for the smart controller that'll include the Mavic Air 2? Because the Mavic Air 2 is everybody's go-to drone right now, and with good reason. Mikey is in the house. Mikey, welcome. Drone Worship is here. Welcome, Dan. Thank you for joining tonight. Lauren said that some things have to happen. All right. And I'm in total agreement with him. Okay. Some firmware updates have to come through for the Mavic Air 2. And there's already been a couple. All right. There's been some issues and DJI's gotten out there and they've gotten them addressed, which is a good thing. All right. That's a good thing. They've really looked at that, addressed it, and got them taken care of. All right. So Lauren was saying probably the end of this month, probably August timeframe. So this is something that's going to drop, I think, pretty much any time now. I don't see a reason why at this point why it would be held up. I don't think now. The biggest issue that I've heard about with this has been updates on the Fimi X8 SE. Fly Zone. Yeah, I did talk about that earlier in the broadcast. There is one new firmware update that came out today. So, you may want to watch the replay and see that. I don't know if you saw that. So that's that. You feel free to catch up on that, and I'll drop a link in the description because it's out on Fimi's page. With the Mavic Air 2, it's been a great drone for a lot of people. But the only negatives that I've seen about this, and I know Bill Thomas had an issue with batteries. Some people have had that issue, and DJI is addressing that on an individual basis. Okay, it's the fly up on the smart controller. There's the same issues as the phone. Okay, Lon, thank you for that. That's there's the reason why. Okay, remember that the smart controller is on Android, and it has the DJI Go 4 app. And the drones that are working on the smart controller right now are the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, the Mavic 2 Pro and Zoom. It also does the Mavic 2 Enterprise series. All right. Remember that the Mavic Air 2 is on the DJI Fly app. All right. And they have to get that on the smart controller. So this is not going to be a small update. This is going to be a large one. And I think it's going to be, this is going to have taken a lot of testing on DJI's part, because introducing a whole new code base to the smart controller is really something, it's anytime, and I stated, being that I've been in software development and software testing for my career, is when you introduce new code into an environment that's already stable, chances are there's going to be some issues. And that's why they have beta testing. But the ultimate beta testing is going to be when it gets released to us. There's only so much that they can do with this. So, like Lon said, there's, that Fly app, they need to make sure that the Fly app is solid before they take that code base and they put that on the smart controller. So that's, I'm glad Lon's on the show to pontificate that. Yeah, Steve, thinking about all this, it's unfortunately it's problematic that that this has to happen. And you can understand why they went to the DJI Fly app, but then again, it's like okay, it just introduces, like I said, when you introduce code into an already stable environment, that's problematic. And that's why a lot of times people have to do rollbacks of firmware updates on things. And I've done that before. Okay, I haven't done it a lot, but I have done it before. And I did that with the Spark once. And the first time doing that was a pull the hair out, biting the teeth, biting your nails issue kind of thing. But I got it handled. Don't know the outcome of remote ID and ADSB. Well, Dan, that's a good question, but here's my opinion on remote ID and ADSB. This is something that, from talking to Brendan Schulman, if you watched the episode that I had with him, his feeling is that this is probably at least 2 years out because the technology is not even yet developed to do remote ID as the FAA has stated. It's not there yet. So it won't happen at a minimum, according to Brendan, for probably about 2 years because, again, that technology hasn't been developed yet. This is something that's just gotten down on paper. Okay, Lauren, they're working on getting common code compatibility to enable the Air 2 to work with it. Okay, good. That's a good update from Lauren. So, there's your update on your Mavic Air 2 with the smart controller. Again, this is going to take some time. It's a code issue, and you got to be patient because these things have to, when they beta test it, it's basic functions have to work on it before they'll release it out to the public. Okay, I know sometimes they get into a rush and they do some things, but this is something that they need to take their time and they need to work on this. I just don't see it. I think it's moving faster. You think it should check out the new BOM telemetry on board? Okay, I will, Dan. Thank you for that update. But I'm just going by what Brendan said because I know the powers that be. This is with the FAA, and who knows where they're at, and the other organizations. Plus, throw COVID-19 into the mix. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot to still be decided yet. As far as that's concerned. But I'm gonna get Brendan on probably towards the end of the year and see where things are with remote ID, because I think that's something that would be very beneficial to a lot of us. I think that's something that's important, and I think it's a good talking point. I think that's something that we all need to discuss, and we need to be aware of what's going on with that. And with that, the whole thing about remote ID, we'll spend a few minutes on remote ID here as well. The whole thing with remote ID is, this doesn't only affect us as hobbyists and Part 107 pilots, but it also affects those who fly radio-controlled airplanes. Because, as you know, and as you've read, and I'm sure that you're aware, that, we would, quote unquote, be allowed to fly in their airspace. And, that just, this has opened up such a huge can of worms. And I know they're vehemently against this, and they don't want this to happen in any way, shape, or form. And I gotta feel for them because, here they are, they've designated. Now you have to understand how a lot of these places work. I know there's a field, that I'm interested in joining because that's another hobby of mine as well. And you have to pay some pretty exorbitant fees. They actually have paved runways there. They have facilities, not only picnic facilities, but they also have places they got to run electric there. There's places to work on your planes there. There's all kind of rules, and these are huge areas. I visited one, and this place is enormous. Okay, it is just absolutely enormous. And and when I talked to them earlier, because I talked to them as a drone pilot, they welcome drone pilots. Now this is before all the things were going down with remote ID. So, I don't know. I don't know. So, we'll find out on this. But to answer your question, Dan, I'm not super concerned, but it's probably wise, to look at what you're purchasing, and to be mindful of that. Technology is going to change, things are going to be out of date, and you're going to need to upgrade. And who knows, you know, what's going to happen with this. So, you know, for me, am I comfortable getting a new drone? Yeah, I'm comfortable getting a new drone because, you know, I know while you said, Dan, that technology is changing, you know, they still haven't come out with a working model of this yet. And until they do that, manufacturers won't be able to equip their drones accordingly. Now, can they retrofit these drones? I don't know. I doubt it. I think these are going to have to be from the ground up. So, you know, we'll see on something like that. I think that's a real interesting point. Thank you for bringing that up tonight. Oh, okay. Lon said he sideloaded the fly up on the smart controller and it looks buggy. There's work to be done. Yeah. Okay. Lon, thank you for adding that tonight to the conversation. I think that's an important point. So, you know, I would say this with the information that we're finding out tonight, and thank you, Lauren, and thank you, Lon, for this. You know, don't expect this update to happen anytime soon. You know, my advice, like my great friend Original Dobo says, go out and enjoy the drone that you have already. Okay. You know, it does have a good controller with it. I mean, I think it's unique. It's one of my favorite features on the Mavic Air 2. Mavic Air 2 does a lot. I mean, there are several people that I've talked to, and I know one, Daniel Termina. Daniel, I don't know if you're in here tonight. You know, he sold his Mavic 2 Zoom, I believe, because the Mavic 2 Air has been so incredible for him, and I don't blame him. You know, there are a lot of people. I agree that. So, you know, the Mavic Air 2 is a great drone, and you know, have fun with it, guys. I mean, it does a lot of the things that the Mavic 2 series does, but it's half the price, and you know, it has incredible runtime with it. It has OcuSync 2.0. You know I haven't had any image transmission problems with it. Taking it out to at least 3,000 feet, it's been crystal clear. So there's, you know, it's performed extremely well for me. I've been very pleased with that. Michael Wright, welcome. Thank you for joining tonight. Good to see you. So, you know, that's where we're at. I mean, you know, that's the state of things right now. And as far as the drone market is concerned, you know, there's some great products that are out right now. All right. You have a Phantom 3 and a Mini. Love them both, but the Mini is up in the air in a few minutes over the Phantom 3. Okay. That's great, Tony. I'd love to see some pictures from that. I think that would be fantastic. You know, like I said, there are some great drones that are out there already. You know, I would not be swayed right now by remote ID, you know, and I take and thank you, Dan, for pointing out that the technology's catching up, but we have to be aware of that, and those are some things I think we need to take into consideration with all this. Plus, you know, with COVID-19, you know, this has kind of put a damper on a lot of people being able to enjoy the hobby and being able to fly professionally. You know I've talked to Billy about this, and you know, when there were more restrictions in Philadelphia, it was, I mean, even running his business was difficult, and being able to go out and shoot some of the home sites, he was having a hard time doing that, and I understand that, and you know, that's something that is very real. And plus, even just enjoying it as a hobby. And I know, and you know, I've talked to Marcus and Ron, and you know, Marcus is going to a school that's right by him. You know, and you know, and he's gone to that other field before, but you know, that's just, you know, he has to operate within the confines of what's going on right now with COVID-19, and that's just something we all need to be kind of aware of and keep in the back of our heads. Is, you know, it's different now, and it's different flying drones. And I personally, you know, I could probably go to the some other alternate sites to fly at this point, but I don't want to. Okay, and for multiple reasons. You know, number one, I don't want to be, you know, have to deal with law enforcement and getting out my license and all that stuff, and not go there. And the other thing is, you know, There's been a lot of unrest lately. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to get political, but there's just been a lot of stuff going on. So, at this point, I'm comfortable with where I'm flying, and that's where it's going to be for a while. And I think that's just kind of like the sign of the times. That's where we're at. So, want to let you guys know. Got some new videos coming up. Got a Mavic Air 2 review video. That's going to be coming up this weekend. Got a Fimi X8 SE 2020 accessories review coming up. So be sure to stay tuned and look for that. We're going to take a look at this guy here. Let's see if you guys can get it. It's the YX intelligent charger. I did get this off of Amazon, but it's available on Banggood as well. Prices a little more on Amazon, but I got it right away. So, but we'll be looking for a review. That can charge up to 4 batteries. You can charge your controller, and it can also charge your smartphone at the same time. So we're going to take a look at that and see how that goes. And then I'm going to get my 6-wheel buggy, and I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that name. We're finally going to get that video out. Also, you may have seen on Build a Drone Reviewer Limited Edition, I've gotten out some of my podcasts. As you know, these Rotor Talk Lives end up becoming podcasts on Build a Drone Reviewer. And then I'm going to be doing a video that tells you about my podcast, where you can find them, how to access them, so you can have that information and have that information available. So, the Build a Drone Reviewer podcast, we're on Spotify, we're on Google, we're on iTunes, we're on podbean.com. And, each one of these broadcasts that we do on Tuesday night, I turn these into podcasts for you guys because I've gotten some very positive feedback on it being in a podcast. And I'm going to do some more podcasts where it's just, talking about some subjects. I'm trying to parse my time out. So, but I spent Saturday I got several out. I got a couple more to go to get caught up. So wanted to thank you guys for being patient with that. Yeah. Oh, good to hear, Hot Rod in Daytona. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, it is. So we're gonna go through that, and I'm gonna show everybody that. Thank you, Jay Bird. I appreciate that. Ted Bowman, go to podbean.com. I'll put that in the chat. It's very easy to do. Let's go ahead. They kind of walk you through things there, Ted. So take a look at them. I highly encourage that. Yeah, Lauren, thank you for that. That's the other thing that I wanted to bring up before we wrap things up. CES 2021 is going to be a virtual event this year. Yeah, there's a big surprise. I mean, with COVID-19 going on, I mean, why? Nobody should be surprised at that news. It's like, and I can get into some things about COVID-19. I personally think sports they're gonna come grinding to a halt because, well, they just found X number of players on the Marlins have COVID-19. They're positive. So, but be that as it may, yeah, that's a disappointment. Not being able to have baseball and football and basketball and hockey. Okay, well, they're going to start out, but I think that's going to just be the way as it is. But with CES 2021, yeah, that's something that yeah, it's just a real disappointment. Now, I'm going to throw this up here so you can not take a look at me blurry here while we kind of close things up. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get this up here. So there we go. All right. Just some final thoughts for tonight. First of all, I want to thank everybody for showing up. It's, we're living in some really challenging time, guys. Yeah, I know, DeMarco. Trust me. Steve Mack, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Camera fun. Thank you. Yeah, Lauren, I love it too. It's just a little out of my price range, just a tad. that's a fantastic drone. And yeah, that's just a little bit on my range. But just some kind of final thoughts here. CES 2021, it's going to be a virtual event, and it will not be the same. I can guarantee you that. There's just some things you can't do virtually. I know Lauren's been there. I know Marcus has been there. I've talked to Ken, Original Dobo. He's been there. I've talked to David from Kluge Tech. He's been there as well. Billy's been there. I've talked to Rick Smith. I mean, it's just something that you have to experience. You have to be there. That's just one of those things that you can't do apart from that. That's just part of what that is. So, and that's real unfortunate. That's something that you can't replace. Oh, okay, Michael. Wow, that's very, very interesting. Oh, Dale, you're welcome. And I want to thank all you guys. Steve Fox, thank you so much for your support. Appreciate that. They probably have everything they have, and then so. Yeah, Lauren's probably holding out on us. Who knows what he has in that basement of his? I'm just pulling your leg, Lauren. No, it's trying times, guys. It really is. None of us have been through anything like this in our lives, and I pray that we can get things under control and get back to some semblance of normalcy soon. It's just, Ricky, I don't know. I don't know. For right now, no, but I might in the future at this point because, and I got gas for the first time since March last weekend. Yeah, it's just, this is how crazy this is, guys. It's just absolutely, positively crazy. Again, I apologize for this camera feed tonight. I will get this corrected one way or another. Brian Singleton, gave me a suggestion. I'm going to delete the driver and re-download it and see if that gets things taken care of. I'm hopeful it will. So I'm going to test that out after the broadcast. I want to thank all you guys for showing up tonight. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the super chats, and thank you even more for hitting that like button. That really means a lot. I do put some time and effort into these broadcasts, so I appreciate that. It's just I'm just very grateful to each and every one of you for tuning into me each week. Let's not forget tomorrow, Bill Thomas, Coast to Coast Drones. He's on at 8:30 p.m. So be sure to check his channel out. It's on, Coast to Coast Drones, Drone Therapy. It's on at 8:30 Eastern on Wednesday nights. I know, Ken Heron's show is on Thursday nights. We have Art is on Saturday nights. I know, be sure to watch Mel on Sunday nights. I'm not quite sure the time. I think it may be 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm not 100% sure. Lloyd the Grumpy Vlogger, he's on Monday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern. And, of course, Drone Nation is on Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. So be sure to check these guys out, patronize their channels. Don't forget, don't forget to, watch these shows. And if you can't watch them live, watch the replay and drop a comment for these guys and a like. I can't say enough what that means to me for you guys and your comments and your videos. They've been incredible, and I really appreciate that. And that really goes a long way because this is helping me get through this pandemic. Having a hobby like this is fantastic, and having your guys and your support has been absolutely great as well too. Really appreciate that, and want to thank you guys so much. That pretty much is it for tonight. I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. Be sure to hit that like button on the way out. I'd really appreciate that. And as always, remember, guys, it is an absolute great day to fly. Hope everybody has a good evening. Take